The minor children coming to the US through the temporary non-immigrant visa category along with their parents remain eligible to obtain permanent resident status through a parent if it occurs before they turn 21. However, if they fail to attain permanent residency before the mentioned age, these children lose their temporary dependent status and are thereby removed from the green card queue. These minor children are called documented dreamers. Currently, there are nearly 250,000 children of legal immigrants, including a significantly large number of Indian Americans. They are now facing a major risk of being deported from the US. As per the analysis of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services data by the National Foundation for American Policy, more than 1.2 million Indians, including dependents, have been waiting in the first, second and third employment-based green card categories as of November 2nd last year. Meanwhile, last month, a bipartisan group of 43 lawmakers led by Senator Alex Padilla called on the Joe Biden-led administration to take urgent action to protect these documented dreamers. Ambassador Suresh Goel, former diplomat, is joining us live. We also have Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, live with us. Sanjeev Srivastav, international affairs expert, is also joining us on the broadcast. Sanjeev, the big question, will the Biden administration finally act?
Well, I think Biden administration is very much willing to act on this, but that administration is not getting enough support from the other side, that is Republican Party. And that is what precisely the spokesperson of the White House, she has, said clearly that Republicans, they voted down their bipartisan agreement twice. And if any such agreement is supported, such as a DREAM Act, where provisions are there that if those children, they aged out, they could not get the permanent resident status, the green card, then they will be given some kind of a conditional residency status, and also they will be given the permit to work. So I think such kind of arrangements are very much needed, because the United States of America is known as a nation of immigrants. United States of America's prosperity, the status which they have, has been, has been the contribution of the international community. Indian American community has, given enormous contribution to the growth and development and prosperity of the United States of America. So when these children, those who have done everything in their careers, education, schooling, and some work, etc., if they attain the age of 21 years of age, and they still have not got a green card status, then United States of America should give them a relief, a work permit, and also all other such facilities, so that they can continue with their residency in that country till the time they get the green card. So I think it is the responsibility of the entire establishment of the United States of America, and Republican Party should consider these facts, that how much contribution Indian Americans have made, and many other such immigrants, those who have those who are facing this kind of a problem, they should be given a very constructive, positive consideration across the party line. And I hope that such kind of considerations will be done. But unfortunately, thus far, if you look at the DREAM Act, which is about development, relief and education of those alien children, I think that is still not got passed because of the lack of support which it should have from both the sides of the aisle. So I think that is a very unfortunate situation. And if these children are deported back, or if they self-deport them back, obviously this is not good for their entire career and life, and it is not good for the United States of America too, because they are the talented asset of the United States of America society, and U.S. administration, U.S. establishment should look forward to the ways and means so that they can harness their potential for the development of the United States of America. I will reiterate the fact that the United States of America is known as a nation of immigrants.
Yes. Okay. Let me get in Ambassador Goel in at this point as well. Ambassador Goel, is this, do you believe, a big loophole in the system that the United States of America is just failing to address?
It's very difficult to say there is a loophole that the US government is not able to address or not. But as you know, that migration to the US has always been a huge issue. I mean, it's not just India, but basically other countries also. You have heard about the wall on the Mexican border. You have heard about the migrants really getting stranded over there. Uh, and in fact, the upcoming election of the US president, the migration is going to be a huge issue again with Trump's position known. Trump's position primarily at the moment, really, but Republicans also have the same position on the migration issues. And therefore, I think we are going to really see uh, the issue of visas, H-1B visas for the people who are working there, green card, and the issue of some kind of a residency, continuation of residency, or visas for those, as you call, the dreamers. Dream. And the point really here is what can be done. I don't think there is any possible action possible till the election of the president have taken place. No president, no one, not even not no Biden, not Kamala Harris, no one is going to take a huge step like this, given the volatility of the issue today. And therefore, what we need to think is that what will happen if Trump comes as the president, which at the moment looks very, very likely. And we knowing the Trump position is going to become even more sticky. If Kamala Harris comes, if we think that she might actually take a softer stand on the issue, I do not know really. Even though Kamala Harris herself comes from an immigrant family, but please do remember that Kamala Harris will be coming on a different ticket. She is an immigrant, but she is the vice president now, and she's a presidential nominee. Yeah, she's not just an Indian; she's African too. And therefore, let us see what position she will take, and whether she will try to find some kind of a way out or not. I think what we need to think as India, as a country, really is that if this issue is not resolved, and there are people who do really have to come back to India, what action should India take? And I think that's a policy kind of a decision that the government of India will have to take, because number of such people who will have to come back to India will be a huge number to them.
Okay, Himanshu might come in here, because this is, of course, a concerning aspect even for us here, because a lot of Indian Americans who have suffered because of this and continue to get affected because of this issue, Himanshu.
Always.
Himanshu, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, yes, please go ahead.
See, actually, it will continue to affect us. What is happening here is, see, don't forget a few facts. Before we discuss this issue, let me bring in a few facts. And what Ambassador said was exactly right. Actually, Indian diaspora in United States is the richest one. Now, USA administration, be it Democrat or Republican, they are the wealth generators. They cannot discount that fact. The second fact is, in last year or so, they've had such a huge issue of illegal immigrants rushing into the city. They were allowed to come in by this Democratic administration. Let me put it very, very bluntly here. Now, when you look at these two facts, this issue seems to be very, very small. Yes, it is high for us because they play that carrot and stick policy with India and still think India will work, subservient to them, which is not going to happen in today's India. This is a type of a pressure that they try to apply and try to show you, okay, this is what will happen. We will send all these people back. Well, if you have the guts, please do that. Please do that. They will not be able to do it. Be it Kamala Harris, be it Donald Trump, be it Republicans, be it Democrat, it doesn't matter. Whoever comes into power, no government will have that gumption in reality to send all these people back. So forget that. Apart from that, what we are looking here is something like, I was telling one day in some other show somewhere that, they're calling us a flawed democracy, they are becoming a banana republic by doing all these things. Just imagine, I know a few cases which I've come across. A 6-year-old boy goes with his father and mother till he turns 20. His father doesn't get a F1B visa. He doesn't get a green card. And they say now he might have to come back. Well, does that happen anywhere else? It's a very simple logical thing. But they do not understand. They talk of so highly of their administration. But actually, are they governing their country? Are they governing, this land of immigrants? As Sanjeevji was very rightly saying, it's a land of immigrants. Are they governing immigrants properly? Along with that, when you look at the present state of affairs, in political sense I'm talking about, in United States of America, you are not going to find, anything hunky-dory there. Kamala Harris comes and she will continue with the laxity. She will continue follow on the paths of Joe Biden. Trump comes, it will not be much different, but certain things will change. Yes, but they will continue to put pressure on the countries like India, which is growing and which is not their partners. In their terms, in inverted commas, USA want that their partners. We are strategic allies. Where we benefit, we work with them. Where we don't benefit, we will straight away say, no, we don't work with you. India will never listen to US to go and have a face-off with China. That's another geopolitical issue. But then, what I'm saying by looking at all these things is, this sort of policies that should have been rectified or that should have been corrected some 10 years back, which is not done so in US administration. Why? Because they are too busy in, imposing their power in the places world around. They think they can do anything with these immigrants coming from India or other places or Africans. Yeah, they might get away with doing so with African people, but not with Indians now. You be rest assured about that. I am quite confident. See, ambassador will not be able to say, because he's an ambassador, he will not be able to say certain things in black and white. But I can very, very well understand how government of India reacts to certain things if made official to them. These are all just talks right now. It's nothing has come officially from the from the Department or Department of Immigration of USA or any of those things. They might do so. That's, that's something like, showing you
Yes.
the fear. And that India will not buy that. That's
Okay.
what I feel, basically, because this is a known issue according to me.
Okay. What is the next step forward? Sanjeev Srivastava, how can the Biden administration or the US government, because of course now it's an election year and the government might change or may not after November, but how can the US administration be further petitioned, to act in this particular, case, and who do you believe are going to be the ones who actually knock on their doorstep? Is it going to be lobby groups in the United States of America? Should it be outside countries? What should be done? What is needed to be done going forward, Sanjeev?
Well, Uday, I think one thing I am completely agree with what Himanshu ji has said, that the power of Indian American community is very enormous, and it has a huge influence in every key sector of the United States of America society. And politics is obviously one of them, but if you look at the healthcare sector, the software domain, and other public services, what United States of America has, the Indian American community is very much there, contributing and enriching their entire journey. And obviously that kind of power and influence cannot be ignored of the Indian American community. And I'm sure that those children, those who are aged out, are going to be aged out. It will not be easy for the US administration, whether it is a Republican or Democrat, whosoever comes into power in these elections. It will not be easy for them to deport them back or even force them to self-deport. I think that is for sure. And second point is that with regard to our response to such kind of scenarios, I am sure that our country, the leadership of our nation, and this new India under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, we do not leave our citizens, our people in trouble anywhere around the world. And that is what is quite clear, that if any of our people, they come under distress, any kind of bad situation they face, then we will act. India will act, and this India, as I said, does not leave our people in trouble behind. So I think that is quite sure. But here I would like to emphasize upon the fact that the power and influence of the Indian American community is so enormous at this point of time in the United States of America's establishment, that they will have to come to some kind of agreement, the bipartisan agreement, where some kind of a temporary conditional relief is given to those aged out children, and also they will be given the work permit too. So because they have done whatever they could in their entire 21-year period of their lives in the United States of America, and they have got schooling and college education, work also they have done, and in that process they have contributed enormously to the U.S. society. So I am sure that some kind of a bipartisan consensus-based points will emerge after discussion. But yes, at this point of time, as a White House spokesperson has very clearly stated, that the Republican side, they have resisted thus far not to allow such kind of legislation to go through, giving different arguments, etc. But I think the plight of these children cannot be ignored by any administration. I'm sure that when even if Trump comes back into power, he cannot ignore the power of Indian American community and the kind of influence we have. And we have seen that in Republican side also, J.D. Vance and his wife Usha Vance has Indian links. Her parents are from India, and obviously Republican side also do know the importance of the Indian American community. So I am sure that Uday, that after consideration, after negotiations, some agreement will emerge from both the sides, and these students, those who are facing uncertain future at this point of time, will get some relief, and they will be allowed to stay back in the United States of America despite being aged out.
Okay, let me quickly, in fact, also get back in Ambassador Goel, because Ambassador Goel, it's not like the US government is not aware of this issue or problem, that certain community members are citing, be it from the Indian American community or other, foreign origin individuals in the United States of America. But why aren't they acting? What explains their silence on the issue or their reluctance to address the problem and grievance?
Uday, I think it has been already stated during the earlier part of the discussion that it's a political issue where there is a divide between the Republicans and the Democrats, and it defies any kind of a legislative solution to the issue. And clearly the government of the US can move only once there is a clear path shown by the legislation. But that aside, let us talk about the problem itself. What exactly is the problem? The problem is about these documented dreamers when they lose a privilege of the dependent visa for staying as dependent in the USA once their parents, father, mother, or both, they are still on the H-1B visa and they have not managed to get their green card. Once they get the green card, the problem is over. So what happens? I have lived in the USA for a few years. I mean, not as a diplomat, and there is a huge community of Indians who are in touch with us also. And many of my relations are still there. And I'm talking about the Indians really here. The Indian community is a very ambitious community. The Indians who have gone there, they go there either as the F1B visa or they go, F1 visa when they're the students, and they eventually find a job after doing the university, etc., get the H1B visa, or they go on the H1B visa. If they have a child who is 8 years old or 9 years old, he goes to the school. By the time it is 21 years, he is already in the college. When he's in the college, and if he's not holder of a green card, or if he's not a natural citizen of the USA, he will be entitled to an F1B visa again to stay on the university. He can be thrown the university once he has got the admission there. And if he's not in the university, he will be working somewhere. and he will be basically entitled to a work-based visa. There will be, to my understanding, there will be very few who will depend upon the dependent status to stay on in the USA. The problem is not really as huge, but there will be still some people, there will be still some Indians who will not be working or doing something or whatever it is, and their parents having got the H-1B visa, they will be entitled to, or they will be able to continue to stay on in the USA, because if they are productive citizens, they're doing good work, or if they're doing business in the USA, they will stay on. The children will have to come back because they are not able to get any other alternative visa. I don't think there are many such children. And when I say the government of India will have to think of a policy action, that policy action will have to be targeted at those very few children who are not able to find alternative ways of staying on in the USA. I think I've said enough. I'm just throwing hints here, really here. But action can be taken, will be taken by the parents, by the government, in case the need arises. And I don't think we need to really become so anxious about the fate of these quote unquote document dreamers. I don't think the problem will be so huge today.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.